Hello, I'm going to take a minute and talk about macros. Macros 101. So when we talk about macronutrients, we're talking about carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And when people talk about counting macros, they have the knowledge that 1 gram of carbohydrates equals 4 calories, 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. That is true across the board. For example, for protein, if it's 10 grams of chicken, it's 40 calories. If it's 10 grams of protein powder, 40 calories. Steak, cottage cheese, the protein part of cottage cheese, always the same, all right? So having that knowledge, we can set our ratio of macros to a calorie deficit to promote fat loss and weight loss. Fat loss, that's what we can call it. Fat and weight loss equals fat loss. Anyway, so the way to lose fat or lose weight is to have a calorie deficit. That is what I personally believe to be true, because it is true. But so you have to create a calorie deficit. So you say, what about keto? What about portion control? What about intermittent fasting? Well, portion control, you're reducing the amount of food you eat. Calorie deficit. Intermittent fasting, you're reducing the amount of time you can eat. So you're probably eating less. Calorie deficit. Keto. Carbs. Hello, do you eat a lot of carbs? If you take those out, calorie deficit. That makes sense? So the way you are in a calorie deficit is you figure out your resting metabolic rate, which I do for you if you're in my program. And that is just the amount of calories you burn existing, sleeping, just being alive. And that's about 75% of our calorie needs for the day. It's just our resting rate, okay? And then you have calories expended from getting up and going to work every day, exercising, digesting our food, just everything else that we do burns calories, right? And so we figure out what that resting rate is and then what our calorie needs are on top of that, and then we create a deficit. And that deficit is figured out based on what your goals are, based on what you think you can do. Because you can go hard and low if you want to lose weight fast, but it's hard. You have to commit to it. So we talk about that, what your goals are and all that stuff. Okay? So what macros do that the other ones don't do is gives you that fat loss, but also gives you body composition. So we are going to prioritize protein, and that's going to build muscle as we are working out in strength training. And that will build muscle, and that will change the shape of our body. For example, I love bread. I love cheese. I could eat bread and cheese every day. I have eaten bread and cheese for the whole day. And if I did that and only ate like 1,200 calories a day, but it was all bread and cheese, I would lose probably all of my muscle. And I would end up just being like squishy skin and bones, which I have been before. That's kind of my natural existence. Or I could eat, I don't need 1,200 calories, I want more than that. I could eat 1,400 calories and have it spread across protein, carbs, and fats, and keep my muscle, build a little muscle to create a little bit of an hourglass figure, and change the way I look, but still eating a healthy, normal amount of food and variety of food. So that's what macros are. And the way we track macros is, like I said, it's grams to calories. So we measure our food. So you have a food scale. Almost every nutrition label is in grams or ounces. So you have that knowledge already. Say a serving of cereal is usually around 30 grams of cereal. So I take my scale, I tear out, after I put my bowl on it and tear it out so it's zeroed, I pour in 30 grams of cereal. That's my portion. I know exactly what the breakdown is. I go into MyFitnessPal, put it in, find the verified entry, and it's in, and I know exactly how many carbs, fats, and protein I've had so far with my cereal. So that's how that works. That's macros. I am 100,000% believer. I use it in my programs. I see the success all the time. It's the best.